Raven. Nice to meet you. I don't think we've met before, have we?
No, I don't think so. It's nice to meet you.
You look like you're in Vancouver, aren't you? Okay,
Yeah,
me
just
too.
right by the Vancouver Libraries, like that way.
Oh, nice. Okay, yep. Looks very downtowny with the
Yeah,
buildings, all the glass in the buildings.
it is. Yeah.
Hey, Steph.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Oh, good. Just sitting in the sunshine. Sunny, sunny
Mm,
Vancouver. That's what it is.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, it is really nice. I need to go outside. I haven't been outside yet, but I will get there.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah. Well, Shay's coming on in a sec. His computer was dying a little, so he may be charging it for a minute or two.
No
Um,
problem.
and then there should be another like 5 or 6 people joining us. But welcome to the first virtual learning circle of 2026 academic year, maybe. And the first virtual learning circle in a kind of refreshed format. And Raven, you haven't been on a call before. I don't think so. We're kind of like refreshing a little bit the way that we do these kind of networking events. Last year we kind of did some webinars that were more like a community sharing about the program, the Youth on the Land programming that they do, or somebody sharing about like a particular approach, like how they do their community engagement or something like that. And then we had kind of a separate series that was more like informal connection that we were calling coffee hours. Um, but Shay, who has just popped on right here, is newly in the role of the coordinator of the Youth on the Land Opportunities YOLO network. And so is kind of playing around with some redesign, and we're trying out this like virtual learning circle kind of hybrid of informal discussion time and kind of presentation time format. And yeah, we'll see how it goes for this year. Hey,
Hello,
Sunlinney.
everybody.
Hello, Shay, our YOLO coordinator.
Sorry, of course, I tried, but the internet was just not letting me on. So I didn't even run to charge my computer for a few minutes. So
Here you are.
I love seeing people in toque season already, Raven. I am craving some toque season. Oh, and Steph, I see your toque now too, Steph. Like I am a firm believer of toques, but I can't wear it because then everyone like wearing a toque in August and everyone says, "Oh, the hipster's walking around town with his toque on," and yeah, so I get that far too often. So, um, but I'm glad to see like you two wearing toques is giving me permission to pull out my toque. So.
Yeah, it's all of a sudden cold up here. So I'm up in Haida, so
Oh,
it's Tuke season year round up here.
love it. I actually have some friends up in Haida Gwaii. Oh, I have a friend that I was in school with. He lives there, Calvin Westbrook. I don't know if you know
Oh
that
yeah, of
name.
course. Yeah.
Uh,
The famous
so
Calvin.
and the famous Calvin. I don't know how famous he is. I just like I don't know how famous he is there, but I just know he's one of the kindest folks I've come across in a long time. And then a few other women from my program are up there visiting right now as well. So um,
Nice.
it's on my list now. It's on my list, but
So I
beautiful
think Haida
territory.
is on everybody's bucket list.
It's hard to compete with that beautiful territory.
It is.
So we'll give it like one more minute to see who hops on. There's a few other people. If not, we'll dive into it. Um, and I think I heard Zara talking about kind of some intentions around merging the webinars and the coffee hours in a different way, but still leaving space for discussion. A few other pieces around um, a tighter time frame so that people's lunch hours, if they're on lunch or their breaks or whatever it might be, aren't eaten up. But we'll dive into it in about 36 seconds. Okay, let me know if Zara, can you see?
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And then I think you're recording on your end, Zara.
Yeah, I am.
Cool. Cool. Okay. We'll dive into it. So welcome to, I guess, what we call the first virtual learning circle of the fall, but I guess technically the first one as well. My name's Shay. I'll do a little bit more of a introduction in a second here, and then we'll do some introductions with everyone around or on the call, a little roundtable introduction as well. But the point of today, it'll likely be a shorter virtual learning circle than normal. But the point of today was to really, as the screen says, is do a reintroduction of the Youth on the Land Opportunities YOLO community, looking at the website, but also really opening up that discussion to the future from your perspectives as network members, and how you see this network and the website hub helping you, supporting you, and where it needs to go. So we're going to do a little navigation of the website today, but we'll dive into that. So I we'll kind of play with the agenda on the fly. Well, after introductions, I do wanted to share a bit about what the YOLO community is, but if everyone on the call knows what the YOLO community is, then we don't need to dive too deep into that. So I'll put a show of hands up. How many people are very familiar with the YOLO community? Okay. All right. So one, maybe reintroduction. Okay. So we'll do it and this call is being recorded for those who couldn't join. So we'll look at the community website as well, and then we'll talk a little about some opportunities of staying connected and how we can kind of continue to grow the network and build those connections between people who are doing this work in community and working alongside you. You want to introduce yourself first, Zara? I've talked for a few minutes here now. They probably want to hear a different voice.
Sure, I can go next. Hi everyone. Yeah, so I haven't met Raven before, but I've met Stefan Sonlene. I work for Nature United, a conservation organization that's tied to kind of a global conservation organization, but we're the Canadian arm of it. And we do a lot of work around supporting Indigenous-led stewardship. My role specifically over the last 7+ years has been supporting Youth on the Land programming mostly in nations in BC, Manitoba, and the Northwest Territories. And now that's really shifting to kind of supporting networks and opportunities for people doing this work to connect with each other, as well as kind of tools and resources, and other helpful kind of things like that, like the YOLO website. And so over the past couple of years, I've done a lot of work to catalyze kind of the emergence of this YOLO network, bringing together people that I knew from different areas, and then those people kind of brought people in, and we've really grown from I don't know, probably started as 20 people or something, and now there's 300+ people on the listserv, which is really exciting. And just kind of seeing the connections that have come out of some of the networking hours and people kind of following up to work on youth camps together, and people going up to each other's territories. Didn't Maureen go up to Haida Gwaii and spend time with you, Sanlene, I think last year maybe? And I think Steph made a connection on one webinar where you hired somebody to work on a camp that you'd been kind of interested in working with for a while, and Shay connected with someone and they did a camp together. So yeah, just really cool to see a lot of the connections that have come out. And so now we're in a new phase of the YOLO network, which is really exciting to me, where we have Shay as the dedicated coordinator whose job is to expand the network and deepen the engagement in the network, and build out the advisory and work towards YOLO becoming its own entity, hopefully an Indigenous-led entity at some point as well. So yeah, I think it's really cool. And my work will be to kind of support Shay to implement the vision that he and the advisory group set out, and then kind of shift to other kind of projects within Nature United as well. And I'm based in Vancouver, Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh Territory. My ancestry is Indian and African. I grew up in Toronto. yeah, and I'm also like just like Shay, like a teacher by training, doing a counseling degree. I always have my head in a million different things, but now I'm just going on and on. So pass it back to you, Shay.
Yeah, I just learned more about you today, Zara. This is great. I love it. My name's Shay. I'm in Winnipeg right now on Treaty 1 territory, but I currently live in Churchill, Manitoba, which is Treaty 5 territory. Beautiful, beautiful land up there. And as Zara mentioned, I come on to work in a different capacity. I've been connected to the YOLO network for coming up to 2 years now, I guess. And obviously had a lot of great support from what this network contributes and provides. And yeah, moving into a different capacity and helping Zara with the vision that she set out, and what this network has proven to me as being so valuable. And so really just supporting the long-term sustainability of how YOLO continues to do this good work. I'm an educator by trade. I grew up in Southern Ontario on the Bruce Peninsula, but then I've just slowly moved further and further north since then. I've been in education for, I guess, 17 or 18 years now in different capacities, but my passion is for experiential ed, whether that's land-based or place-based or outdoor ed, just kids using their hands, and the benefit of just being, you know, being elbow deep in dirt and mud and having fun with it, right? And there's just so much value in that learning. Yeah, I'm really, really excited for what this will become and being a part of it. I'm a big fan of collaboration. It's not mine and or Zara's vision, is the vision of the network, and just seeing how we can really curate that to what network members are saying and make it as functional as possible. So you'll learn more about me over as we join more and more of these virtual learning calls. And I'll leave it at that, just because I want to leave some time for introductions from other folks too. So I'll pass it on to maybe we'll start with Steph, if you don't mind, Steph. So name, where you're joining from, and a little bit about your work. And anything else you want to add. You don't have to stick to the prescribed questions.
Sure. I'm Steph Woodworth. My pronouns are they, them. I am joining from Yellowknife Northwest Territories, and I'm the project director of a nonprofit organization called Northern Youth Leadership, where we run land-based programs to empower Northern youth. So I do a lot of on-the-land camps, and my PhD research was in partnership with local First Nations and the Northwest Territories to understand the impacts of land-based programs to youth in the North. So I've been doing this work for a long time in different capacities, and I joined the YOLO Advisory Board when it was at its very beginning stages and we were developing the website. So I've been hanging around for a little while, and I'm excited to see the next phase of this.
Okay, next on my screen is Raven with this, looks like the towers in the background there. So
Yeah, my name is Raven. I'm joining this group from Vancouver, so hence the towers. Um, and I just started recently at Coast Funds, so I'm the stewardship funding specialist. So I'm working with Rain Playfair on all of the stewardship funding applications and related projects that are going on at Coast Funds. But this is like my second month, I think, at work. So still quite brand new.
everyone loves a
I
good
guess
steep learning curve.
yeah, it's a lot of information to learn, but like a lot of like good information and a lot of exciting information. So the more I learn, the more I'm like want to keep learning. So I'm not mad about the learning. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. And I've been Raven on my screen as well, but I heard Zara referring to you by a different name, so I'll let.
sungite las. Sondlane gid hinidukyung. So that's my Haida name, Sondlane gid. I'll write it on the thing. But my English name is Raven Ann. I'm calling in from the unceded traditional territory of the Haida Nation. And I'm up here in Old Masset, on my traditional territory up here. I'm in between contracts right now, so I'm like actually really excited, and also it's feeling a little bit heavy for me right now because I just feel like there's a big pivot that's happening and I'm not really quite sure what direction I'm going, but I know ultimately that this is the work that I want to continue doing, and I have been doing since I was a teenager. Like, it's what saved my life. So land-based healing is my passion. So I've worked with youth, Indigenous youth, all across Canada, with Canada World Youth, in Vancouver, and in my traditional territory. I was running a culture program called Rediscovery on the West Coast for 15 years. And so there's just been a lot of changes and structures that I think a lot of people know in the world right now that are crumbling. And it's just been hard to be a part of systems that are so strongly holding grips to the patriarchy and capitalism. And we all know everything that's going on, but it just feels like that's been a struggle here. And so, yeah, so I'm taking this as an opportunity right now to really dig my heels in a little bit more, and to see what's going on throughout BC, because I'd like to do a bit more traveling, and to be able to offer my skills and services to other communities. And so that's exciting for me just because my sister and my little brother from Hartley Bay. And there's an amazing guardian watchman program all throughout the coastal waters. So I'm going to be starting some training with them next month. And so it just feels like things have opened up a bit. And so I'm just going to be going to continue to like go towards deepening some of my training and connecting to folks along the West Coast. I really, 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 really want to do a youth guardian stewardship program here on Haida Gwaii. We worked with Maureen, which was Maureen Vu, and a couple other folks came up, and we did a 10-day program up here called We Are Water. And we got a whole bunch of folks in the water snorkeling and learning how to free dive, which was just like, it was so good. It was so amazing connecting with the water in that way. And I'm really passionate about our river systems here. And so that's part of the work that I want to do with Guardians. I don't know if you guys are following some of the politics around where we're at in Haida Gwaii, but we've just had acknowledgement from the Canadian government and the province that acknowledges our Haida existence and that we are stewards of the land, and that we are the ones that are being upheld to continue to protect the land and the waters. But I think what a lot of people don't know is that all the freshwater sources across all of Haida Gwaii are not included in that agreement. And so BC and Canada still has jurisdiction over all of our freshwater sources. And so that's something that I'm not really happy with. And that is also giving us as Haida people an opportunity to stand up a little bit stronger to protect our waters, so that we can help to protect waters throughout BC. And that was the reason why they left it off the table, is because they didn't want to set a precedence for other Indigenous nations throughout BC to protect their water. And to me, that's just a bit of a cop-out. So I'm trying to really like hold our own nation accountable to that, as well as ignite a passion within our youth to go back to the land and the waters, and float down waters or go fishing in the waters or do whatever we need to do to kind of reassert ourselves in water. So yeah, that's really exciting. That's my passion. I am a trained counselor, and also an IFOT practitioner, Indigenous Focus Oriented Therapy. So my kind of angle is like really mixing in that mental health piece within all of our experiential experiences, There's so much healing for all of us to be had when we reconnect to the natural world and our ancestors and the elements. So yeah, that's me. It feels a little bit vulnerable to be in this position. I'm 45 and I have twin 8-year-olds. And so not having any work right now is a little bit, but also I'm like, I'm a survivor. I know how to make money. I know how to, so I'm also like an artist, I'm a performer. And so it actually feels really freeing. So it's like nerve-wracking, but also freeing. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And really excited to connect with you all. I feel like it's been a while, but I also feel like it's coming at the most perfect time. So that's me. How about everyone?
Amazing. Yeah, I just love hearing the stories. I love hearing, I mean, you're right. It's super vulnerable sharing anything in these kind of formats because, you've never met me in person and, I'm glad that the space feels good to talk about that. And I look forward to getting to know all of you a lot better. And I love like you talking there. It was reminding me about like the one elder that mentors me a lot, and like her life is water. And she's actually that person's like, have you drank your water today? And I'm like, and that's usually what I forget to do. But like, she's that person that would just be like, go in the water, just go, like just be around it. You don't have to be in it, just be around it, and like just kind of resets everything. So, good reminders. So. Okay, so this might be some repeat information for some, but I'm just gonna go through this and then we're gonna do a little bit of navigation of the website and talking about that. As Zara mentioned, there's currently about over 300 members across North America, across all of Turtle Island, including educators, elders, knowledge keepers, youth leaders, organizations themselves that are part of the network. And what really all ties us together is that commitment to land-based learning and having that strong impact or having that supportive impact for youth in building those strong connections to land, culture, and community. At the core of it, this community or this network acts as a community of practice or functions as a community of practice. And Zara kind of mentioned some anecdotes earlier about those connections and what they've led to, some beautiful collaborations and exchanges between communities. So really, this isn't just about sharing information, it's about good collaboration, reflecting, learning together, growing together, right? So everyone here is bringing, like you can hear it when people talk their stories, they bring their strengths and their experiences. And in turn, there's that like reciprocal relationship of receiving guidance and support, inspiration for some that might, go back and have that impact in home communities and territories. So, I think the one thing that I've always taken away from being when I was like earlier phase of my connection to the YOLO community is that it really is about that ongoing exchange, that like living entity. Every time I've been connected by Zara to somebody else in the network, it always felt like I was learning something new. So that flow of information, that flow of knowledge, it's really about strengthening us all together. And then, as Zara mentioned, as the YOLO community moves into a new phase, the hope is that there's really going to be this guidance from a growing regional advisory to ensure that this community has strong representation, balanced representation, and relevance to what the network members are saying is valuable, is saying is needed, is saying would reflect the work that they want to do with youth. So the website, hands up if you've kind of played around navigating the website so far. If you've had a chance. Okay, great. Okay, so no fresh introduction. There is a QR code. I am gonna go to it in a second. Zara, do you want to give just like a really brief history of the website, and then we'll talk a little bit about phase 2?
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago now. I'm trying to remember exactly when we started kind of working on this, but I think it was around 2023 when we started building the YOLO website, and it kind of grew out of like Nature United had been involved with work supporting Indigenous guardians, and there was a toolkit developed in partnership with communities for that, the Indigenous Guardians Toolkit. And that website toolkit had a chapter on engaging youth and guardian programs that had some really good information. And then we kind of started plopping a whole ton of tools and resources that people were coming up with in kind of like youth on the land programming into that chapter. Like there was stuff on like how to do a financial report, or like here's an evaluation of a specific youth on the land program model, like the SEAS program, or like here's some tips on how to like build mentorship opportunities into your youth on the land programming. Um, we just kind of started plopping all this stuff into the Indigenous Guardians toolkit because we needed a place to kind of start to come together and to like house these tools and resources that we were developing. And then we started growing so big that we were like, okay, we actually need our own space. Like we're becoming our own thing. This isn't just about like engaging youth and guardian programs, even though that is a really important kind of form of like youth on the land programming, but there's also like youth on the land programming happening through health centers. There's also stuff happening through schools. There's like the warrior programs that have kind of like an after school model, and it doesn't all fit like directly under guardian programs. And now actually we're becoming so big that we need our own kind of like youth centered space. And maybe we have like a little section in our youth centered space on like how to engage youth in your guardian program, or how to like build a guardian program into your youth engagement or something like that. But so yeah, we came together. There was an advisory group of 10 or 11 of us. Shay and Steph were both on that came together and started brainstorming around like, okay, what would a website look like? What would we want kind of the principles of this website to be? How can we make it really useful and accessible? And we worked with Spruce Creative, which is an Indigenous owned design and website kind of development firm, and created the Youth on the Land Opportunities website, the YOLO website. And yeah, we definitely, there's like things that could be better about it. We're kind of looking at a phase 2 right now that Shay can explain to improve some things, but there's some really great information on it as well around like funding, tools and resources, events, news stories. And it's kind of like started to act as a bit of an anchor for the YOLO community to come together.
Beautiful. Thanks, Sarah. And like as Zara mentioned, we are probably, I would say, not going into phase 2. We're probably in phase 2 right now. So when you go to the website, if you've been there recently, you might see some things that look like, oh, this might be under construction. That's because it is. And there's some things shifting. But phase 2 is really about building on what that website has really served as, and it's a connection point, bringing together practitioners, elders, knowledge keepers, youth leaders, who otherwise might not have those connections. Not saying that's the case for everybody, but like it's a place, it's a grounding point or a focal point where people can kind of come back to. It's sharing, obviously. I think I don't know the full history on every tool and resource on there, but I know that the majority of them came about from folks who are sharing their knowledge and their expertise, and those stories, those experiences, those resources, those practices, all derived from some strong advocates for this work, who wanted to make sure that it was spread to other folks that are passionate about this work as well. And then along with that is also support, and like offering those tools, those opportunities that will strengthen whatever someone is doing, boots on the ground in their local territories. So our big push for phase 2, and this is going to lean on the growing new advisory and the network as well, is making this website as highly relevant as possible for those who are working directly with youth on the land in whatever capacity, whether that be education or health and wellness, or run the gamut of different ways that land has an impact on youth, and really making it as user friendly as possible. So I'm gonna hop, just Zara, give me the thumbs up if you can see the website now. Can you see that on my screen? Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna do a really kind of high level overview. If you want to stop at any of the pages that I click on as I'm kind of doing the 101 navigation through the website, let me know. So when you go to youthontheland.ca, this brings you to our landing page, where a little bit of a brief overview about the community, some different ways that you can connect with, like basically learning pathways. You can learn about what the YOLO community does. You can connect with other on the land programs, which we'll talk about in a second. You can access tools and resources. And another big popular one, obviously, everyone, it's the sad reality is that money is needed sometimes to get things off the ground, and so funding opportunities as well. But that doesn't have to be sad, because there are some great philanthropic folks out there that are really looking to support this work of connecting youth to the land. What we if we go into the about phase or the about page, and this will slightly switch in the near future, but you can get a little bit more on the history of the YOLO community. And more recently is really defining the mission, vision, philosophy, and ways of working of this community. This is something that the current advisory and the growing advisor will be spending a lot of time this year working on to ensure that this is reflecting the direction that different voices say we should be going. And so the way that we're talking about this is always, it's a living space, or these are living guiding protocols and practices. I won't read through them all right now. Please take the time. We'd love to hear feedback on them from network members, but we really did a deep dive over the summer into what what some of the current advisors had been saying about this work and what drives them in this work. And we collected all those insights and really put it together into what you see on the screen now. Second, and this will be part of my call to action towards the end, is our YOLO advisory. So you'll see some members that are slowly phasing out of their involvement, but you'll also see familiar faces on here. There's Steph and Heather, who wasn't able to join us today as well. And these are the folks that are really driving and stewarding the work. So take a second to look at some of their biographies if you get a chance, but like some real key drivers in getting this website up and running, and some folks who are staying on to keep the momentum moving forward. Now, I'm gonna go to the program map next. And if you haven't done a deep dive into this, this is probably my favorite part of the website. And on here, you can see this very simple Google map, but as you click on it, I'll go to the most recent one that joined us here, is different programs that have volunteered to be identified on this map to be part of a sharing network. And so what this essentially does when someone puts their name or submits to be part of this program map is it opens up a door where they're willing to be like a voice or a guiding support for other folks who are looking to grow their own land-based work in their local territories. So Ren from Whitehorse here has shared the work that they're doing in their program and has opened that door for anyone else from the network who might be interested. So the reason it's awesome, and I don't think this is probably preaching to the choir in a lot of ways, is it's such a great visual representation of all this great work that's happening across different territories. And as always, we're looking to grow this, and that's a big part of phase 2 is expanding the network and building engagement. And so we're really trying to broaden the scope of the programs that are represented on here as well. So hopefully, as this year progresses, you're going to start seeing other programs that pop up in different territories that are underrepresented on this map, because you can see that there are quite a few blank spots that could use some filling in. But it's a great foundation of programs that we see here from BC, from the territories, a little bit in Manitoba, where I'm at. This is all linked to one other subpage where you can look at those other programs as a program list, and like get more details, the contact information for those folks, and learn a bit more about those programs if they have a website that they're willing to share. And then lastly, in the programs is a lot of people's favorite spot to land, whether you're starting a program or you're kind of in the middle of building something. This gives you a number of different pathways you can explore, whether it's funding or hiring somebody to be a coordinator, or how to choose the right equipment, or thinking about safety. There's a whole whack of questions here. This came about from people sharing, like, these are the things that we need. So we're always looking to expand the tips that are being shared. If there are suggestions, that door is always open for folks to be saying, we need this. Like, this is a thing we're constantly running into in our work, wherever you're at. Help us come up with something, or put this out to the network so we can start to troubleshoot this obstacle that we continue to run into. On the resources page, and will load here for me. You can see a lot of those tools and resources cataloged. So it's a much kind of more succinct way of organizing. So if I want to find about, how I can design my program and specific to budgeting, I can do that in a way that gives me exactly what I need around building that specific aspect of my program. Might not be the best, like the exact tool I need, but it's something to at least give me a starting point. And this one is currently under construction. But this, because there's a lot of questions that come in around funding, we wanted to really dedicate a space where folks could come to the site and find out or find funding opportunities that are relevant to their specific territories, because we know that a lot of funding is specific to provinces and territories, and then also programmatic streams as well. So as this grows, we'll see nationwide, but also specific to different regions that folks can click on and look into granting opportunities that might support their work. The last part I'm going to share is also very much under construction, but it's a part we're really excited to build on this year, and that is around aside from relevant opportunities. I guess I should share a bit about that. We want to have a running record of different opportunities that come up in a more timely manner. So things like events or grants with short-term funding or short timelines for accessing, or maybe the YOLO community itself is offering a different virtual event other than the virtual learning circles, and just these opportunities that will be populated on the website as almost think of it like a running blog. So I can click on there, look at like a social media feed, and have a good idea of these things that might support the work I'm doing. The stories part of it is really our way of sharing the good work that all you folks and other folks are doing in a way that makes it reflective of, I think, the passion that we all carry. And so it's a very vague way of saying we really wanted to create a space where people's lived experiences could be shared by those who are willing to share, obviously, but in a way that acts as a connection point, acts as a point of inspiration, acts as a point of motivation. And we've seen a few of those pieces come through third-party story sharing, and Nature United has done its own stories as well. But as the YOLO community starts to build itself on its own legs, we really wanted to create a space where those stories from those in the network and the work that they're doing could be shared and really spotlight that work. I think we would all agree, and maybe not, but I'm gonna throw this out there, that sometimes that little pat on the back, that encouragement, that recognition that we're on the right path is a motivation that sometimes we all need to know that we're in this for the right reasons, and we're moving this in the right direction, and we're really hoping these stories really catalyze the folks that are currently in the network and catalyze other folks to come into this network and really build on their vision. So that was a lot of information about a website that's under growth or in its phase 2 growth. Don't feel like I just said everything that you could possibly access on that website, because there's definitely more. But I hope that gave you kind of a good scope into how you or other people that you come across that you could share this resource with, or this website with, could access and use this for their own purposes. What I want to really emphasize, and I said this at the beginning of the call, is that this website, this hub, this space for sharing and connection is only as valuable as what people are saying it's valuable for. And so we are constantly looking for feedback on how this website can better serve the folks that are using it. Steph knows quite well from our conversations in June or July earlier this fall or this summer, diving into like how to access it, how to make it functional, how to make it like a place that people go to because they know, like, if I'm asking a question, this would be my first stop shop. And so we lean on that collaboration. We lean on that support from the folks that are in the network. The last thing I'm going to say before I open it to like comments and questions is just kind of a few things, a few like calls to action. So we are really, in our efforts to build connection action within this network. We're putting more energy into our Facebook group and encouraging folks to join it. It's a way for relevant, up-to-date information to be shared more frequently than, say, the newsletter that goes out once a month. So QR code to our Facebook group if you haven't joined that yet. Really encourage you to join that. It's also a great way for us to be able to share the work and the stories that are that other folks in the network are doing. So whenever we can, Zara and I are on there sharing stories from the work that other programs are doing and sharing online. There's been a few conversations about our growing or our phase 2 of the YOLO advisory. As we move into that phase 2, there is a call to action out right now for those who are interested in stewarding the direction of this YOLO community. What we're hoping for, it's a lofty goal, but we are hoping for representation from across the country, north to south, east to west. On the website, on the About section, you can go to the bottom and you can see a clickable button to express interest in joining the YOLO advisory. It's not a massive commitment. It's about 4 meetings a year, possibly some in-person work as well. So if there is interest in helping us grow this community and really steward the direction moving forward, I really encourage anyone here to put their name in. If you are interested in also sharing in these virtual learning circle formats, even just hearing your introductions, like it's such valuable information. Like that is literally like the heart and soul of why I love this network. It's like people share their stories and it like catalyzes some ideas in my brain that says, I have to talk to this person again. So if you are interested in presenting for one of these virtual learning circles, we're really opening up the door to understanding what people will sorry, I'm not saying that properly, opening up the door to people sharing the work that's happening in their communities as a way to really create a learning thread that reflects on the ground work, theory to practice, and just, again, that passion as to why we do this work in the first place. Of course, we're open to different topics that people would suggest for virtual learning circles, but our starting point is really to celebrate those folks who are in the network doing this work already. And then lastly, as I did the shout out with the program map, if you haven't added your program to the program map, we'll always encourage that because the more people who are willing to share, it's kind of infectious isn't the right word, but it's the best one that's coming to mind right now. Like that passion is infectious. And as people see more of that popping up, they see more opportunities to make those connections. So I will stop talking. Zara, did you have anything else you wanted to add specific to the website or those calls to action?
I don't think so. I mean, it could be cool for Steph, maybe for you to share a little bit about what your experience has been being part of the advisory. And I know Sanlene has expressed interest in being part of the advisory before. Not sure if things might have changed Sanlene, but yeah. So just kind of, yeah, I think it would be cool, Steph, maybe if you were interested in sharing what your experience has been like, or like maybe what kind of benefit you found from it. And then I guess like also like if you guys have any comment, I mean, I know that we've kind of tapped you, Steph, and Sunliny like a lot of times before for what are your comments on this website, but Raven, if you have anything that kind of comes up, like even like maybe for you specifically around the funding page, like Shay and I have toyed with like, should we try it? Because it's a nationwide network. So should we kind of try to like put national opportunities there if it's kind of like unrealistic to find every single province and territory's funding opportunities there? So that's, sorry, I'm just kind of like spitballing here, but also in terms of the presenting kind of piece that Shay was talking about, like Raven, it could be super cool if like you or Rain or probably one of you were like interested in doing a presentation on, I don't know, on the PFP or like stewardship funding or like what Coast Funds offers or like the storytelling or, and it's not only BC folks or kind of Great Bear folks that'll be on the calls, but just like I think it could be really cool to help get people's kind of brains pumping around different financing options and how coming together can kind of make things stronger for everyone. So that would be one cool thing. I mean, Steph, you've already done a presentation, I know, but there would be lots more to present on as your work has like evolved a bunch. And then Sanlini, like if you were interested in doing one on like rediscovery or like your own personal journey, kind of supporting youth on the land engagement, or even if like you and Maureen wanted to do a co-presentation on the freediving programming you guys did together, that could be really cool. So yeah, just some ideas to pop out there. But Steph, do you want to talk a bit about your experience on the advisory? Because I think that could be cool for Raven and Melanie to hear.
Sure. I wasn't prepared for this.
Yeah, sorry. You feel free to pass if you want to. You always
You can pass.
No,
That'll
no,
be for that'll
I'll
be for the
speak,
next
but it's
one.
not like a prepared answer,
if you're
like
gonna
I'm
say
being put
I
on the
hate
spot.
YOLO and I hate the advisory,
That's
just let me know
crazy. Why
first.
would I still be here? Obviously, it's been a good experience so far that I've like continued on to phase two. I think at the start, like with the webinars and finding this network, I found it really helpful just to connect with other people who are doing similar work as me and in different areas and being inspired. Like I think I at the beginning was really keen to going to all the webinars because I would leave feeling so much more inspired into my work and just feeling part of a larger network of folks dedicated to land-based programs. Like I'm absolutely obsessed with on the land camps and land-based education. Like it is my passion, it's my identity, it's like what I live and breathe. So to meet other people who are dedicated to it in the same way, it's really nice. And learning from other people was what drew me to the space at the beginning. And as the advisory board like formed and the website was starting to become developed, it was really incredible to work with other people in this like creative way to develop something that would be useful to people who are interested in this work. Like I think the creative process of like brainstorming and coming up with ideas, like what did we want and how did we want the website to function, like all of those meetings and time together developing it like from our creative perspectives and then seeing the website developer actually like put things together was really special to be a part of. And I want to continue to see this network grow and what it can become. Like I wouldn't have anticipated where we are today when it all started. So I think I'm just really, yeah, enjoying the experience of getting to see this grow and become something beyond what we could have imagined at the start and like continue to see as more people join the network and as it becomes more integrated in different ways of usage. Like it's I think it's just really, really cool. So loving it. Great experience so far. I've reached out to a few folks, youth and elder in my network to join, and they were really keen on it as well. And I think it just it's good times with good people. That's all.
Steph, we're gonna ask you to go on the road to just do like the promotional ads for anything YOLO related from now on. Just like that, if that was on the spot, that was pretty good.
Oh, thank you.
Um, yeah, Raven or Salmone, any other questions or comments or feedback or like honestly, it's open table, whatever you want to talk about.
I'm just navigating the website right now, but I can't find the link to uh find where the advisory, like that thing that you showed me where it's like the drop down, but I'm like, I can't find it. Where
Oh,
is
it's probably because like yeah, I was like a compressed screen, and so if you go to the
Oh,
about page and
okay.
go all the way to the bottom, there's the call
Okay.
like the advisory, and that's like that'll change fairly soon, so that the advisory has its own page and you don't have to scroll down 10 feet to get to
Oh,
the
okay.
call to action. But it's right there at the bottom. It should take you to a Google form to share and yeah, or to submit, and then that just gives us the connection point. And Steph
Oh,
kind of
okay. I see
alluded
it now.
Steph kind of alluded to it as well. Like, we're with our growing advisor, we're having a two-prong approach, and the first prong is very much relational. We know that we have some strong connections in our own circles, and so the call to action is one. And when we do the like the website expression of interest piece, we follow up with conversations with those people who have submitted to kind of like our vetting process, to ensure like they're aware of all the responsibilities and that we've given all that information. But the relational is really, I think, in my mind, it's the most valuable way to recruit folks that are going to grow this network and steward the advisory. Because like those are people that we've built trusting, respectful relationships with. And so like when I came in, I brought folks from my network here in Manitoba and Ontario, and I know the folks that Zara's brought in over the years. Obviously, like it's gotten to this point, like Steph alluded to, like who would imagine where it is now, but that was because of the relational context that Zara brought in, and then the people that she brought in, their relational contacts. And yeah, it's so long-winded way of saying, if you have folks in your network, like connect them in, because we're looking for those diverse perspectives that are going to help things grow. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Do you find it, Selene?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. And I'm just, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name right, because like the headphones, Sandlene.
Yeah, I'll write it in the chat as well. Yeah, Sondlane, good. It means daughter of the dawn.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
Or there's another translation, an elder told me that it was like she who wipes darkness away with light.
Ooh,
Yeah. That's like the Haida like poetic way of like our language is very descriptive and like poetic and
it's beautiful. Yeah.
yeah.
If
Yeah.
anyone said that wasn't beautiful, I'd be like, I don't know if I need to know you. Like, um, awesome. Any other Raven? Any thoughts or questions from you? Just want to open the floor to anyone that wants to share. Doesn't have to be about the advisory. It could be about questions with the website. I know Zara's been dropping in some newsletter links and all that kind of in there as well. So it can be anything related to this kind of a broad, open conversation about the YOLO community in general.
Yeah. I mean, this is my kind of introduction to the YOLO network, being like quite new to the space, but it's funny how I'm already thinking of, I've been in part of other youth groups in the past on the participant side, and I'm already thinking about people that I'm like, oh, I could recommend this community to, who run different programs like across the country. So I'm like, oh, okay, I got to keep this in mind. But it's also um, like Rain and I have been talking about how important youth engagement and getting youth leadership capacity built up. That's something that's really important to the nations that we serve at Coast Funds, and that's something that we're hearing like repeatedly. Uh, and so it's interesting um, that uh, this is another resource that we can provide them with and share with them, because we do a lot of we're on the funding side, right? But we also, if they're looking for, hey, I'm looking for funding opportunities or I'm looking for other connections, we're there as a resource for them. So this is like a pretty valuable resource, and I can see the power behind having it community based and sharing of knowledge from like different communities to each other. So I'm excited, and I'm also going to sign up for your monthly newsletter. So um but yeah, it's just sort of like still in the learning phase for myself, but that's also a good idea um, to see if Coast Funds, anyone else at Coast Funds is interested in doing one of the virtual sharing sessions. So I know we have like our uh, side that works with a lot of philanthropy, and then on our side we're working with the community. So both sides seem like would be pretty valuable and pretty interesting information to share with people. So I'll bring that up to them.
Appreciate that. And yeah, like share, I guess the ask that we would have is share. This, as the network grows, the strengths in the network grow, and like the potential for what it can, how it can serve folks who are doing this work grows as well. Yeah, so Zara mentioned it in the chat, like share the newsletter, sign up, share the Facebook page. If they're interested in being on the advisory, like share it all. And all those links can be found on the website as well. So it's, yeah, that website really, as we move forward, it's going to be the focal point. Everything will drive to the website. And so if you share that link, they find everything there as well too. So
Perfect.
so we're getting close to the top of the hour. So if there's any other thoughts or questions, obviously it doesn't have to be, I don't know why I'm using the metaphor of doors opening and closing so much today. It might just I don't know what it is, but like this isn't closing the door. Like if there's questions that pop up after this, by all means, Zara can pop the email into the chat, shoot us an email, and we can follow up as best as we can. But any other final thoughts or questions or comments?
I just wrote in the chat, since kind of my work title is pivoting a bit. If I could change the description on the Haida Gwaii part, just not in connection with Mislane, but just trying to figure out kind of like what my role is. There is a really big position within our nation that people are trying to push me towards, but I really don't want to work a 35-hour work week. It's not part of my lifestyle. I just like yeah. So I might try to navigate that with them and see if I can do a 4-day work week. Like, but it's essentially the youth governance coordinator, and it's like creating programming for youth and youth governance. And it's like, so it's like a work that it's a job that's like exactly for me. But I'm like, do I really? It's so
It
much
sounds so enticing.
it's so enticing, but it's so intense. So I'm just trying to figure out, yeah, what would my title be when I'm not connected to an organization. I think it's really important for me and other people to like identify themselves as separate from their work as well. Like I don't, just because I work for someone doesn't define who I am. So just trying to figure out how to word that on the website, right? Like if I'm someone that can be connected with for kind of spearheading and or showing people all the other things that are going on within Haida Gwaii, because there's so many amazing programs. And so I think what I'm going to do is just ask consent and permission to be able to kind of name drop and be able to link in all the other there's like a climate action network where there's a youth component. Like there's many different other things going on in Haida Gwaii, and I'll just see if I can get permission to be able to link in all the websites and stuff like that. So maybe I'll just be like kind of like a point person to be able to navigate people to other things on Haida Gwaii that exist. Yeah. So
Any
that was my
edits
question,
too,
just
just
to edit that.
yeah, just shoot any edits you want our way, and
Okay.
in that email that Zara dropped in there, and we can make those changes. And Zara put it in the chat that you brought up, Selena, you brought up a really good idea about like it's not necessarily a program map. It could be a map of champions, a map of people who are doing this work, who are advocating for it, that are point people, but aren't connected to any one specific program necessarily. And so something to really think about how we could frame that on the map as well, rather than putting two maps. I wonder if there's, yeah, well, you've given some food for thought here for how we can make sure that's curated. A filtered map. Sounds like a really good like
I don't
punk
know.
rock band name from like the 90s. Like, I don't know why, but like this, like filtered maps. I don't know, but
Don't steal my band name, Shay. I call it. Unless you want to be.
I
I
feel
will. I
like
mean,
that's like really aging us. Like are you like born in the 80s or late 70s? Yeah.
80s, 80s baby. So
Yeah, I know,
yeah.
I could tell. Love it, love it.
All right. Well, it's been amazing to meet. I mean, meet two of you. I've met Steph before. I was going to say meet all of you, meet two of you. It's amazing conversations, amazing thoughts and questions, and I appreciate it. And we're hoping that this will be kind of the start of the ball moving forward with some more collaboration. You know, spread the word about these. We're hoping that we have some pretty cool perspectives or cool topics of discussion for October and November. I'm not gonna, they'll come out in the newsletter here in the next week once they're confirmed. So if you're not signed up for that newsletter, get signed up for that newsletter. Yeah, looking forward to more conversations and collaborations, and enjoy the rest of your week. And yeah, I'm gonna go get my toque. Seriously.
No toques here yet. Holding off on that for at least another week.
Full toques here.
Toques. Toque life. There's the YOLO branding. Toque life.
We'll get YOLO soon.
This one actually is from a youth on what is it? This one's like Love the Land. It's to slay. I don't know how to spell
Okay.
it. It's a really amazing, like, woman-led, land-based organization based out of Vancouver.
Love
Yeah.
the land.
Love it.
Well, it's this one says Love the Land, but their the name of their company is a Tisley, I think Tisley or something like that. Yeah.
This one?
Yes,
Cool.
I must say
Wow. Awesome.
they're
Sweet.
amazing. Yeah, they do really, really good work based out of Slayway Tooth and yep, down that way. Down
Yeah.
that way.
Cool.
Down
They have
that.
like really great tours where they like show you the like traditional names of the different mountains and the different geographical like areas and like rocks and their tours are amazing and their tea is also great too.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love this.
Noted.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah, that's
And they got great swag.
Shay's
Ah.
thinking about YOLO swag, and I was like, oh, what's the point of that? But I'm coming around. Could be
Oh
very
no, we
cool.
need some YOLO swag. But like,
yeah.
you know, like this is probably just like a plastic, like, you know, like it'd be nice if it was like supporting local makers, you
Love
know.
it. Yeah. Capitalism is gonna pop off today. So I'm gonna go buy some stuff. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Well, I'm going to go mushroom picking.
Enjoy. It's
And
beautiful.
yes, it's really nice out right now, so I'm excited.
Okay,
Happy
well,
picking.
Yay.
enjoy. I hope you get a good harvest. We'll talk to you all soon.
Sounds good.
Sounds
Take
good.
care.
Thanks so much,
Bye,
Shay.
everyone. Thanks,
Bye.
Shay. Thanks, everyone. Bye.